And now tonight, ladies and gentlemen, to be our Master of Ceremonies, we're very pleased to have one of our very earliest members, a regular member, a marvelous person, and I'm going to turn the entire proceedings over to him right now and go back to the bar in the back. Let's welcome Bob Barker. Bob?
Thank you. Thank you very much. That nice welcome makes up for a terrible disappointment I had to begin this evening. I arrived here. I'd been told or invited to be the Master of Ceremonies, and of course I've been up at the Magic Castle many times and met a lot of the members. And I arrived at the hotel tonight, and when I came in, there was a group of very attractive ladies there near the door. And one of them turned around, she saw me, and she nudged another one, you know, the way they sometimes do. And she looked over her shoulder, and another one looked over her shoulder, and they kind of pointed. And I thought, well, obviously they've been watching me on television, you know. And as I walked in, one of them was kind of pushed out by the group, and she came up to me, and I thought, well, it's my first autograph of the evening. I was reaching in my coat for the ever-present pen. And the lady stopped me and she said, "We've all seen that life-size cutout of you in the ladies' room at the Magic Castle." And she said, "Just who the hell are you?" But it didn't surprise me because Milt Larson, as some of you know, was a writer on my television show for many years. And Milt always told me, he said, "Someday I'm going to make a big man of you." And tonight I've had more people mention that miserable picture than ever mention my television show. Which I think only goes to prove that Milt does his best work in the John. But, of course, Milt and I go back many, many years. As a matter of fact, I stood with Milt Larson in the Magic Castle before anything had happened. It was just an old frame house. And he said, "Barker, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this." And I thought, "And you idiot, you're going to have a flop." But the next day, he was at Truth or Consequences, and in the dressing room there, all the guys from the show were there. And he was going around the room. This will surprise some of you new members, but memberships sold at that time for $25 each. And he was, yes, madam. That hit you where it hurts the most, didn't it? But he was going around the room there selling to the other writers and the producer and so on. He's selling them each a membership for $25. And he came up to me and he says, "And Barker," and I should point out now that I had done a couple of magic tricks on Truth or Consequences. Very simple tricks. Milt had shown me every step. If Milt had shown me every step, you know it was a very simple trick that I did. And they were. But he'd gone around the room and he was selling these memberships for $25 each. And he said, "Barker," he said, "you've done magic on Truth or Consequences. You're a magician. You can be a regular member." And I said, "Well, gee, Milt, thanks a lot." He said, "That'll be $35. And you know, I knew right then that that miserable Milt was going to make a success of his non-profit organization.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's greet your Master of Ceremonies for the evening, one of our favorite people, Mr. Bob Barker. Bob Barker. There he is. And if he doesn't tell you so himself, Truth or Consequences had a big part of building the Magic Castle. Let's welcome Bob Barker, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Bill. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure for me to be back with you again this year. This is my third Banquets Award, and it's made me very happy walking around this evening. I've seen so many of the same old faces and the same old tuxedos. But when Bill called me and invited me to be your master of ceremonies tonight, he told me that it was traditional now. He said that I've done this for so long that you would expect me to be here. Well, I guess it has become traditional. Actually, there's no money involved. I mean, as far as I'm concerned. So I certainly didn't start out to make it a tradition. But it has become traditional. However, there's nothing I can do. You see, my agent is Senator Crandall. Now, at least this is just a one-shot deal. The senator booked me for 13 weeks feeding Shimato's doves.
Now then, it is my very great privilege to introduce once again this year a very good friend of my brother and myself, our gang. He's also a charter member of the Academy of Magical Arts. He's been a celebrity in the later days of radio, but more importantly in television, the popular host of Truth or Consequences, of The New Price is Right, and of all those Plymouth commercials, our super master of ceremonies, ladies and gentlemen, Bob Barker.
Thank you very much. It's amazing what a wonderful introduction you can get if you're willing to work free.
I, at this point, want to get right into it and introduce a person that has been a personal friend of my brother and I for quite a number of years now. A very, very wonderful man who 6 out of 7 times has joined us on these banquets, and the other time was no fault of his own. A man who is probably one of the busiest stars in Hollywood right now. I can't keep track of everything he does. It's absolutely fantastic. And the fact that he would give up one of his evenings to just come over and donate his time, as everybody does, everything is donated on these banquets, to our banquet tonight, Milt and I appreciate so very, very much. So I'd like to, at this time, introduce your Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Bob Barker.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome to the 7th Annual Awards Banquet of the Academy of Magical Arts. And thank you, Bill and Milt, for inviting me to be your Master of Ceremonies again this year. I want to start the program off tonight in a completely different way. I want to say something nice about Milt Larson. That now, it will be the fire department. As many of you know, Milt has been a writer on the most important chapter. It was the year that the fire department caught up with Milt's tricks. And they came in and they went over this castle like you can't believe. They really did. They put a match to everything to see if it was fireproof. That's how Milt lost his mustache, as a matter of fact. And as Bill said, there was a time when they had to move dinner out to the garage. They were serving dinner in the garage. And as Bill said, apparently there are plans now to make the garage another dining room, but the garage was a garage when they were serving dinner out there, but it was fun. It really was. And the waiters, they really entered into the spirit of the thing. They they enjoyed serving dinner in the garage, I believe. If you took your wife, your girlfriend up there, the waiter would come up to your table and he'd say, "Do you want me to fill her up?" It was that type of an evening at the garage. And it has been a great year for magic, and it has been a great year for the Magic Castle. And we have a program tonight I think you're going to enjoy. Milt and Bill have put together a show that I think you will genuinely enjoy. But before
the show going and moving, why should I stand here and talk to you if I can introduce you to a man who's known to millions of America much longer than Jimmy Carter. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please meet your very own Bob Barker.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I've always been introduced by Bill Larson here, who's the president of the Academy. This year, Peter Pitt, who's only the secretary. If I do this show next year, I'll probably be introduced by Ringo.
And now again, of course, I want to acknowledge the fact that my own family is here, which I'm so thankful for. My wife Irene, my mother Sherry Larson, my very dear brother Milt, the kids are working tonight. We got the kids working. Dante, Erica, and Heidi are all working backstage. Wendy could not be with us tonight. It's Wendy's birthday, and I don't know how I scheduled this on her birthday, but she's having her own party tonight, and along with our granddaughter Jessica, so she can't be with us. I know this is going to be another marvelous evening. I think it's going to be the best ever for the Academy, and there is one more person I would like to acknowledge before I go back to the table, a man who has done us so many marvelous favors. He is the host of so many television shows, as you know, out of 13 Academy Awards banquets. He's been our MC for 12. Let's introduce our very own Bob Barker!
I thank you. All that applause, and I have not even given away a refrigerator. I welcome you to the 13th Annual Academy of Magical Arts Awards Banquet, and we are going to have a lot of fun tonight. For a moment there, I thought I was a part of Sound of Music. Welcome to the 11th Annual Academy of Magical Arts Awards program. I hope that you are in the mood to have fun tonight. Are you? Are you? I haven't brought any refrigerators or cars with me, but we have things that that I think you'll enjoy just as much. We have some marvelous magicians who are going to perform for you, and I hope that the last year has been kind to you since we met here in the same theater just a year ago. I do indeed hope that the last 12 months have dealt kindly with you. It has been a good 12 months for the Magic Castle. As many of you know, we've had tremendous crowds at the castle, and the new Di Vernon Lounge has opened this year, and the food is better than ever and more expensive than ever. The service is better too. The theaters have been improved. But I think the most exciting development has been the addition of that marvelous new parking lot, that huge parking lot, don't you? It's great. It gives Milt Larson someplace to play with his skateboard. That is safe. But it was badly needed, and now we have it. But the most exciting...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 14th Annual Academy of Magical Arts Arts Award Show. And now, here is a man who is not only kind to animals, but to millions of people every day through his unequaled and unique approach on television, where he gives away millions of dollars to thousands of unsuspecting contestants. The fountain of youth himself, here's Bob Barker.
Thank you. Thank you. To be described as the fountain of youth with Cary Grant in the audience is blasphemy, isn't it? Whatever I have, they deliver to my house in wine bottles. I was just talking with Mark Wilson, though. The 14th Annual Academy of Magical Arts Awards Banquet, it's really hard to believe. I can remember when Milt Larson called me about the first awards banquet. He called and said that they were going to have the awards banquet and that he'd like to have me be the host. And he said he'd called to find out how large a fee I would ask to do the show. And I said, well, I wouldn't ask for pay for something like that. He said, good, the price is right. So I've been here for 14 years. You don't think that the price is still right, Milt, that's right. You don't think that this has been a long time. I think that I can set it in perspective for you if I tell you at that first awards banquet, dinner and the show was $7.50. So you might say that I've been doing this ever since $42.50 ago. The night we did the first awards banquet, Bill Larson did not have a gray hair in his head. But the magicians ran over, and the show went on for 3.5 hours, and Bill turned gray that night. That first awards banquet was so long ago that Milt Larson didn't even have a drinking problem at that time. I shouldn't say that. Now, I shouldn't say that because after the last banquet, Milt's mother came to me, and she said, Bob, why do you continue to harp on Milt's drinking when he has so many other faults? But in spite of Milt, the Magic Castle has prospered. And over the 14 years. And tonight it was really brought home to me because for the very first time, the castle sent a limousine for me tonight. And yes, I must say, Milt, your mother is a very good driver. She really is. And Jerry, you were so cute in your little uniform. She's changed. She got kind of nasty about the tip, though. But I'm sure that somebody will give me a ride home. Not to worry. On with the show.
Fundraiser for the SPCA up there at the Magic Castle, and having the veal taken off the menu, the humane organizations really appreciate that. She's doing a great job.
Well, thanks, brother. I know that's the way. You know, we have a complete view at our house.
How are things at the castle?
Well, really great, Bob. You know, we are still a non-profit organization.
Yeah.
But you know, Bob, we've been calling. We're having our banquet coming up again. It's going to be March the 12th, Saturday this year, and I know it's a little after Christmas, but I wanted to check. We really couldn't do it without you. I sure hope you can make it this year, Bob.
Did you say March 12th?
March 12th, yeah, Saturday.
Bill, I cannot do it on March 12th. I have been booked in Orlando, Florida, to do the Bob Barker Fun and Game Show, and I didn't know that you had the banquet set for March 12th, or I would never have accepted this date.
I thought we told you earlier.
No, but as far as the Master Ceremony is concerned, you don't have any words. You have Johnny Carson or Dick Cavett. Orson Welles, they're all members of the club.
Well, I tell you, Bob, if you can't do it, we can get Paul Daniels.
Paul who?
Paul Daniels from London, England.
Who's that?
Well, Bob, he's very famous in England. He has his own TV show with the BBC. He's a fine magician. He just was featured recently at Las Vegas at the Tropicana Hotel.
Is he funny?
Oh yeah, he's hysterical. They'll love him.
Are you picking him up in a limousine?
Well, no, Bob. He's coming in specially from London. He's flying in.
Oh. Are you paying his airfare?
Well, no, Bob. He's a big star like you, and he just loves the castle.
Oh, Bill, I guess the price is right.
Well, Bob, we will see you next year, I'm sure.
Bill? Bill?
It was 1984 Olympics.
Thank you. I get much more applause than that when I give away refrigerators. I hope that you have enjoyed dinner. I've been in that damn box all through dinner. But I want to welcome you to the 16th annual award show. It's hard, I know a lot of you have been here since the first, as I have, and it's hard to believe it's been that long, isn't it? It's hard to believe that Milt has aged as much as he has. But time hath wrought this change. But I've had the pleasure of doing 14 of the shows, and a pleasure it has been. Unfortunately, I couldn't be here last year. I was working for money, and I couldn't make it. But I understand it had a great show, went very well. I read all about it in Genie magazine. My issue for March 1983 just arrived, as a matter of fact. But I also, Milt, I read a very nice bit about you, too. It was all about how bright you had been to start the Magic Castle as a non-profit organization. It was included in an article on millionaires, and he was mentioned prominently. But I understand that it has been a wonderful, wonderful year for the castle. Now, I haven't been up to the castle as much this year as I usually am, but I know that things have gone very, very well. It's been a very prosperous year for the Larson brothers, Jesse and Frank, and I needed no other testimonial than the fact that I know it's been a prosperous year, because tonight Milt sent a limo for me. And the driver was his mother. But this year she had a real cute little uniform, a nice little uniform and a nice little cap. And she drives very well. But on the way over here, we had a flat. Wouldn't you know it? We had a flat tire. I was so embarrassed sitting there in that limo while she changed the tire. It was, but fortunately, Irene was there to help her. So I didn't feel too badly. But it has been a great year for the castle, and deservedly so, because I think you'll agree that they've made some wonderful changes there, and they're doing a lot of great things there. And speaking of Irene, I would like to say that all of us who love animals
sincerely appreciate what you've been doing, Irene. We really do. I don't know how many of you know this, but she works with many of the humane organizations. She arranges for them to have luncheons up at the castle and various fundraisers. And, of course, she has done something that we think is very important, in that she has, there's no veal served at the castle or downtown. And since this is a fun evening, I won't go into the details of how calves are raised to create veal, but it's absolutely reprehensible. And Irene has arranged for that to stop. And of course, what she did tonight for the Wildlife Way Station, I think that it would really not be a waste of our energy if we would applaud Irene Larson for her work with that. I don't know how many of you know this either, but Irene is a wonderful trainer herself. Did you know that? She's an excellent trainer. Have you ever watched Bill Larson? Have you ever watched Bill Larson at the bar at the Magic Castle? He sits and stays and stays and stays. And tonight, she's taught him a new trick. Tonight, when I arrived, he shook hands, and he's doing real well. Actually, this all started, I should explain this. This all started maybe 8-9 years ago. I made some remarks about Milt Larson's drinking problem. And strangely enough, Bill became jealous. He became jealous. And so, for the last 8 or 9 years, he has really been belting it because he thought that I would talk about his drinking on the show, you see? But I'm not going to talk about Bill Larson's drinking. Of course, a lot of other people are, but I'm not going to talk about Bill's drinking. But back to the subject of magic. It's been a great year for magic. I know that we see more magic on television now than we have ever seen. And of course, Siegfried and Roy have become probably one of the most popular acts ever in Las Vegas. And many of the magicians who have performed at the castle are now doing very well in Las Vegas. And it's been a good year even for Peter Pitt. Peter hasn't been beaten up, and he hasn't been arrested. And I beg your pardon? What? Oh, well, he hasn't been beaten up, and so it has been. And I can't stand up here. Milt told me that there are 700 people here tonight, and I can't stand up here in front of 700 people and not mention The Price is Right. It's part of my contract. And Price is Right is the highest-rated show in daytime television. Been on 12 years and still going strong. And I think one of the reasons is these bloopers shows and these embarrassing moments shows. This is an area that on Price is Right we really know something about, bloopers and embarrassing moments. And they've used a lot of our clips, and I think that publicity has helped us. Maybe some of you have seen the clip with the gal who fainted, and her eyes just rolled back in her head, and over, back, and boom. But I did exactly the right thing. I just stepped over her body and said, "Johnny, who's our next contestant?" And right on. But probably the most famous clip is the one some of you have probably seen it. The gal in the tank top. You know, I can tell you. She had on the tank top, and Johnny called her name, and she jumped up, and she started jumping up and down, and both of them just out right there. She came on down, and they came on out on The Price is Right. But like everyone else, we do have problems, and we're having a problem right now with a lady contestant. About a year ago, just about a year ago, she won a DeLorean automobile on The Price. Yeah. Well, she got the car. But she's complaining that when she drives her DeLorean down the highway, it sucks up the white line.
Your reaction tells me a lot about this audience tonight. I thought you just drank. But on with Magic. As I said, this has been a good year, and Magic is enjoying more popularity than ever before. The Magic Castle, I'm now getting to Peter's script. But I believe, the Magic Castle isn't just a magic island. It's the center for magic and magicians. When I read that, I said, Peter, that's crap. That's crap. And he was honest. He said, Bob, crap is what I write. And you know what I said? I was honest, too. I said, for 25 years, crap is what I've been doing on television, too. So here we are. Peter and I are doing this together. And Peter goes on to say that... You see, when she drives her DeLorean down the highway, Well, now, please, I have a serious introduction, and you're no longer an audience, you're becoming an unruly mob. And what I'm trying to say is we start off with a young man who comes from Canada. He's a protege of the famous Channing Pollock. He won a trophy just last year at a major magic convention here in California and has many magicians envious of his talents. And I've talked with a couple of people about him, and it's true. In fact, some of them are going to beat him up in the parking lot after the show. Here, with the kind permission of the Body Shop, is James DeMare.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 18th Annual Award Show of the Academy of Magical Arts. And now, please welcome a man who is kind to millions of people every day for the better part of his life and wants you all to be kind to animals for the rest of your life. Please welcome television's #1 master of ceremonies, Bob Barker.
Thank you. Thank you. I was so grateful that I was at this front seat here because the applause didn't die down before I got up here. It's wonderful for me to be back with you, and I don't know, I hope you agree with me that tonight it seems to me that there is a special feeling of warmth in this room. Do you agree, or am I just getting old? It seems that we are very close tonight, and I love it. But Bill Larson, I'm worried about you. At the very top of the evening, there was so much noise that I'm not sure that the others heard, but you were introduced as the president for life of the Magic Castle, were you not? Well, that can be dangerous. Look what happened to Baby Doc Duvalier in Tahiti. Of course, he's at the Riviera now. You and Irene would love that, I suppose. But Bill came to me, and he said that he would like to have me come back and do the show tonight. And I said that I was pleased and flattered, and he said that he was interested enough in me being here that this year they would pay me to do the show. And I said, Bill, I couldn't accept money. I have been a member of the Magic Castle since the doors opened. I said, I couldn't take a penny. He said, good, the price is right. So here I am, back with the Larson brothers, Jesse and Frank. But I do think that they were pleased that I am back because they sent a limo for me tonight. They did. I came first class. The driver of the limo was their mother, Jerry. And Jerry looked so cute in her uniform. She really did. It was a little big for her. It was a little big. She said she borrowed it from Albert Goshman.
We have a very, very nice evening planned for you, including some of the really splendid magicians in the world of magic. And I'm very pleased to be here tonight. Actually, for a while it looked as if I wasn't going to make it. I was supposed to be in New York for the National Convention of Couriers. They wanted me to participate in a knife throwing contest as the target. I've had more people come up to me tonight and mention that fur controversy in connection with the Miss USA pageant. You know that got more media attention than anything that has ever happened in the animal rights movement. It's amazing. I did so many interviews, I felt like Vanna White. They did a story on it in Time magazine. They really did. And in Time magazine, they described me as Robert Eugene Barker, age 63. And I want you to know that was a misprint. My middle name is William. But I had one writer after another coming to me and talking with me about that fur controversy, and they wanted to know, was I really prepared to walk out on the pageant? Was I really prepared to lose the money that I would be paid for doing the pageant? And I said, I'm not worried about money, I have Medicare. If I were worried about money, I sure as hell wouldn't be here tonight, right? But actually, this animal rights thing is an emotional thing to me. I was out at USC for a demonstration just not long ago, and I listened to 2 or 3 speeches, and I really got worked up. And I said, I'm going over there, and I'm going to lie down across the doorway of that laboratory. And the young lady said, when we're ready to leave, who's going to help you out? And she was probably right. But if I look tired tonight, and if Irene Larson, have you seen Irene? She looks tired too. Irene and I have been working hard tonight. And we've been working fast, too, because as you arrive, if you check the fur coat, Irene and I burned it. But enough about her. Here I am again, working for the Larson brothers, Jesse and Frank. And it's the same old story, no pay. So they did send a limo for me tonight, and Milt's mother was driving it. But this year she didn't have her uniform on. And last year, you know, she had the uniform on. And it was very attractive, very feminine, and cute. And tonight I said, why aren't you wearing a uniform? And she said, well, Milt's wearing it. And she said, he looks very cute, he looks very feminine in it too. And I said, well, is Milt driving someone tonight? And she said, no. She said, the uniform is all that Milt has to wear. He lost his shirt from the Variety Arts Center. His own mother said it. Now listen, those of you who are moaning, you know that Milt is always trying to start a non-profit organization. This time he succeeded.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the original host of the Academy of Magical Arts Awards, Emmy-winning television personality, 30-year host of The Price is Right, and friend to animals everywhere, please welcome Bob Barker.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that applause. I think that the thing that I miss most about The Price is Right is the applause. Thank you. No. I retract that. The thing I miss most about The Price is Right is the money. Now, I innocently walked in here tonight. Milt Larson had called me and asked me if I would be a presenter on the show. And I said, certainly, I'll be happy to do that. I thought I'd come out here with a card, read a little bit about some fine magician, and put him on or take him off or whatever. And then another nice man, Dale Hindman, I believe was his name, he said, we want you to just go out there and talk. So here I am. But I feel at home here because I emceed the first one of these banquets ever held. I emceed it. And not only that, I emceed the next 21. I did this thing for 21 years. I discovered that when Milt Larson gets his claws in you, it's hard to get away. Now, I'm sitting at a table over here with Milt, and Milt is having a wonderful time, but he's so drunk he doesn't know it. This is, with his birthday and everything, this is such an exciting time. This is such an exciting evening for Milt that he started drinking in the afternoon. Yesterday afternoon. His wife, Arlene, she's a sweet lady. His wife, poor soul. She's been trying to straighten him up over there, and they really had a serious discussion. Reminded me of what's his name in Hillary. It was that bad. But I'm having a very nice evening. I would not have drunk so much had I known that they wanted me to just get up here and talk. But I understand that Rose Marie is in the audience. Now, if she is, I know they'd like to have you stand up at your seat, Rose Marie. Where is she? Right, stand up, Rosie. I haven't seen you since Truth or Consequence.
I can't stand up. You don't understand.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
You see, years ago, they asked me to be one of the participants of the show.
Right.
And they wanted to saw me in half.
And they did.
And they did, and they never
I'll be
found
damned.
the bottom.
I didn't know a thing about it.
So I can't stand up. I have no bottom.
When I was doing Truth or Consequences, you came on the show frequently, but it was all of you that was there then.
Well, I have been a member of the castle for I don't know how long. I think my number is 2 numbers. That's how long ago. And I was advised to come here because of Richard Deacon, who said you should go there and you invite your friends to go there. So I used to go there, and I fell for every trick that they had. And the last one, as I've said, I was sawed in half. But I love it. It's the most wonderful place in the world. It's unusual. It's fantastic. And the funny part of it is, Bob, as you know me, I have worked with every damn magician in the business. And that goes way back. I mean, I don't even know the new generation. I know the old generation. I had a magician come over to me the other day and say, you worked with my father, and he was 80 years old. So you can go from there. But that's all right. I'm fine. I just take my time, and I love the castle. I just don't buy any more green bananas. And I love it. I love the people. Milt, I'm crazy about. And the whole situation of the castle. It's a wonderful place to entertain. It's a wonderful place for people who understand magic. And it's just ideal. And I'm very proud, very honored to be one of the members. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Rosie. Thank you. And she's right. The castle has been fun for all of us for years. I was one of the first members of the castle. And when we, back in the old days, well, Bill was here, of course, and I would introduce the Larson brothers, Jesse and Frank. The castle was supposed to be a non-profit organization. So I ask you, why has Milt been retired in Mendocino in a mansion for years now, while I've been working here in Hollywood? But it's been great fun for me, and I would like, for just a moment, to let's just forget all of Milt's faults. No, we could never do that. Let's just put them aside for a moment, because I would like to say something positive. I've said so many insulting things about him over the years, well-deserved, but I would like to say something positive about him. The Magic Castle was Milt Larson's dream, and he took that old, dilapidated mansion up on that hill looking over Hollywood, and he literally created the Magic Castle. I mean, probably the first nail and all the way up. He created the Magic Castle, and all of us now know that the Magic Castle is a landmark here in Hollywood. The Magic Castle is known worldwide, and Milt Larson is a very talented man. He's a very creative man. And I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to be his friend. Yes, sir. Now, just a moment. Just a moment. Somebody help Milt to stand up over there, will you please? And let's give him a big hand. Now, I have one last thing to say about Milt Larson, and that is Mark Kornhauser is going to be your MC tonight, as I understand it. And if he's smart, he will be careful of Milt Larson, or Mark Kornhauser will be right here for the next 2 decades. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.